So I think it's 3 o'clock. We can start. If somebody else will join us, you can do this during all the time. Yeah, a very warm welcome from my side. It's a great pleasure to meet all of you. My name is Jens Herold. I'm the head of the technology department from Stefan Machinery here in Germany. And today I'm really proud to present you a part of our portfolio, especially if we talk about vegan cheese products. With me together is my colleague Dirk Schönfelder. He's also a food technologist for Stefan. And later on, we will hand over to our friends from company Cartech in the north of Germany in Lübeck. And they also want to present you their portfolio, their opportunities. And I'm pretty sure that you will get a lot of new information, that you will see some new ideas, some benefits from our equipment, our processes, which you can transfer later to your own process lines, or even just taken as an idea for any further projects. The presentation today, we divided in different segments. First of all, we want to start with what is Proxys, who is Proxys, just to get a small view into our history. Then it will follow by the products themselves. What is the difference between the classic cheese production or classic cheese ingredients and the new way of production with the vegan products. Then we go to the process and technology. Then I will explain you some more details about the benefits of our machine, which you need for the processed cheese production, what kind of machine you need also. There are a lot of different opportunities, a lot of different functions. And I know it's quite difficult to get an overview if you see all the machines only, but I'm pretty sure I will explain to you what is what are the needed function, what is just a nice option, nice to have. At the end of our presentation, it will be in about 40-45 minutes. We will finalize with a few pictures about our products. It will give you a better picture how the machine works, what has happened inside the machine, and finally followed by a few short videos where you can see how our machine works. Then we hand over, as I said, to our colleagues from company Hahn. They also try to give you a much better picture about their products, what are their possibilities to make such kind of vegan products. Okay, start with our history. In the past, we were three strong brands, Stefan Machinery, Freimer Kuruma, and Terlet. And after a while, we decided to found a group to make all of us even stronger as a group. Yeah. Previously, we had a lot of customers, but we always thought about what would be a better way to get a wider range of opportunities, of possibilities, and therefore we build up this group. And now we have a wide range, a big portfolio. We can provide more or less all machines for all kind of processed foods and also for a wide range of chemical products. The company or the group Proxys was founded in 2014. Since this, under the umbrella of Proxys, we are still still with our own brands. We have the Freimer company, we have Stefan and Terlet. Just the brand, the label changed a little bit, but we are still under the big flag of Proxys. We are still as our companies. So the first question, I think also one of the biggest questions in the last months, last years, why does the market change that much? Why we are going so deep into the veggie product applications? All of you know very well, the market is changing completely in the last years. Always when we talk about vegan products, vegetarian products, we hear 4 or 5 very strong points. And I will give you a little overview about this. First of all, of course, the animal cruelty. This is one of the most important point, because we don't want these factory farming. We don't want to support this. We want to have a very healthy food, a very let's say green label food, and this is only possible if we get a vegan product, because we invest a lot of energy and also a lot of our resources to let the animals grow and then just kill it at the end, just to get a piece of meat on our plate. This is, I'm pretty sure this is not what all of us wants to have. It's also a big benefit for ourselves is our health. A lot of animal food is mixed with medicine, like antibiotica, for example, and we will get this from the meat, and this is also a big disadvantage for our own health. The fairness is, of course, also a big point, because as more energy, as more resource we invest into the animal farming, we will lose for opportunities for other points. We will lose the resources for vegan products, for oats, for example, or something like this. Of course, the environment is also a point, because we don't get anything back from the animal farming. We get a lot of profits if we have more plants on the planet. This is one of the easiest point why we have to change, or why the market is that changed. You can see also a lot of points. For example, just in Germany, we have actually 1.3 million of vegan people there. They eat just vegan or even vegetarian. And worldwide, it was actually 1 billion of the people. They just eat vegetarian or vegan food, and it's growing all the time. So I think now it's easier to understand why we are focused to the vegan products and to the vegan alternatives to the regular products. Today, we just want to talk about the cheese application, and therefore I will hand over to my colleague Dirk.
Yeah, thank you, Jens. I want to introduce you to some of the differences between the normal dairy-based cheese, the regular processed cheese, and of course the vegan alternatives. For this, we will go into the composition of the vegan products as well as the normal products, and I will show you some differences regarding these products. First of all, definition of the dairy-based cheese, the processed cheese, and the plant-based cheese. Yeah. The dairy-based cheese, let's say the normal cheese, is made from milk. Milk proteins are denatured by the enzymes like pepsin. After this, we separate the whey from the curd, and from this curd we can form. After we cure it or ripen it, after the aging process, during this the forming of flavor is occurring. We receive the well-known product named cheese, just to have a rough understanding what we are actually speaking about. When we use this ingredient, the basic cheese and combine it with furthermore other milk ingredients. Might be fermented, might be not fermented ones. Let's speak about casein and stuff, and combine it also with water and blending it and adding it to it different emulsifications ingredients. Speaking about melting salts, we can combine it to different kind of products with a firm or liquid texture, absolutely depending of the composition. On the other side, we have the plant-based cheeses, even though we might not be allowed to call them cheese, but for simplification, we will just stay with this wording here. It's just an analog of the processed cheese or the dairy-based cheese. We try to match all the properties like taste, like structure, the melting behavior of the original kind of. And for this, we need a various amount of functional ingredients. Here I want to show you or highlight all the possibilities which are now able to produce in a vegan way. The product range is quite wide. We have spreadable types of cheese and also block type cheese. We can see there are all kinds of packaging already existing on the market in which the vegan products are being filled. For instance, we have the cream cheese type of cheese as shown in the left picture underneath, but also we have the block type cheese, speaking about slices or shreds, and also like sort of brittle products, speaking about white cheese. Feta type of cheese is a common product already and widely found on the market. And even some very special hard cheeses, kind of vegan cheeses. For instance, a Parmesan type is a common product. And also one not highlighted here product is the, the so-called fermented cashew-based cheese, which is produced by producing a nut paste, adding a special culture to it, form it, and then we get a kind of cured soft cheese product, which is quite similar to, let's say, Camembert cheese. Just to have an overview, what is present, what is available, and what is possible to produce on the machinery. To go a bit more into the depth of the composition, I will show you the differences regarding the composition or the recipes, the ingredients. For cheese or processed cheese, of course, we have the milk and the milk ingredients. Butter, or also the normal cheese is an ingredient for the processed cheese. Enzymes and bacteria are being used for producing the cheese, forming the flavor as mentioned. Kind of coloring can be used to give it more the appearance of a yellow product. And of course, when we speak about the processed cheese, we have to use emulsifiers and water to achieve the desired structure. On the other hand, we have the vegan cheese alternatives, which most of the time consists out of water, plant oil of different plants. Let's speak about palm oil or coconut oil. We have to combine these two ingredients by using stabilizers and hydrocolloids. And since we're not using any fermentation, which is happening during the cheese production, we have to use flavors. As mentioned before, we also have are able to add plant-based proteins to it to receive a nutritional value more similar to the actual cheese. To get a better understanding of the ingredients and why we have to use those, I want to show you this table over here, which lists some of the functional ingredients of the milk, of the cheese on the left-hand side, the vegan alternative in the center, and the functionality of those ingredients on the right-hand side. Starting with the casein, it's a protein fraction from the milk and is responsible for a lot of the known attributes given to cheese. The protein structure brings stretchability, the viscosity. It also acts as a emulsification and classic cheese or processed cheese products. Replacing this is a quite tough task. A combination of different hydrocolloids and starches like tapioca or potato starch has to be used to give the product the desired mouthfeeling and the meltability. Protein, most of the time in a normal cheese, is just the casein. Sometimes the protein source can be also the whey. For instance, when we're using some powders, in the case of the processed cheese, these ones add body and structure to the cheese. If we want to use or increasing the protein content of the product, we have to use plant-based proteins or switching over in case of a nut cheese to completely producing the cheese from nuts. The next ingredient I want to highlight here is lactose. Yeah, it's basically a substrate for the fermentation in aged cheese. So it's not present in the end product anymore, but due to the fermentation, it creates all the flavors we liked about the normal cheese. So in vegan products, we have to add these as a normal ingredient. The flavors sometimes also been used vegan cultures to kind of ferment the product and create similar flavors. Fats in a normal cheese, of course, the milk fat is present, and most of the time nothing else is allowed. But for vegan ingredients, vegan products, we have to use the palm oil or the coconut oil to give the cheese similar melting properties and structure as a normal one. And when we speaking about the emulsification of processed cheese, of course, emulsification salts needs to be used or are used for the production. Replacing this has to be happen with emulsification starches or hydrocolloids and can create the desired product. As you might have seen on this table, the recipe considerations are quite complicated. Easy replacement of some milk ingredients won't achieve a good and desirable product. And for this reason, we have invited the partner of Kartek, who will introduce you later to some of their formulations for nice and high quality vegan products. And I will give over back to Jens to introduce you to the technology of our machinery.
Sorry, I spoke 5 minutes and I was muted. Okay, and again, before we continue, I have to tell you that not only me, also you are muted during all the time of this meeting. The reason for that is you are a lot of guests today and we very appreciate it. But if all of you are asking some question in between, it will extend the lesson. way too long for all of us. And that's why you can find in the bottom of your screen a chat room, let's say a chat symbol, FAQ, and there you can ask all your questions and we will answer this immediately. And there's also an option to leave us your email address, and we can go in contact to talk about way deeper in detail after this session. So there are already 2 questions I've seen. Okay, let's continue with the technology of our machines, of our products. If we talk about technology, it's always combined with the machine themselves. The technology is the list of the steps what you need, of course, to produce your own product, but also the machinery themselves. And now I want to give you the advantages of our machine, just to understand why we are pretty sure that we have a way better way to produce your products. First of all, we talk about the direct steam injection. The direct steam injection is a more efficient and more cleaner way to heat up your product. Of course, you need a steam generator for that, but if you think about how many advantages you will get of that, it's a quite good investment. First of all, if you talk about the vegan products, the green label products, we are also focused to the energy consumption of the machine. And if you use direct steam, you can use much more efficient the complete heat energy instead of jacket heating, for example. If you go with direct steam into the product, you will use 100%, nearly 100% of the energy immediately to heat up the product. It's going way faster than jacket heating, because the heat transfer time from the steam into the product is way faster than if you go just from a jacket into the product. The transfer time is way longer by the jacket. If you use the jacket with this kind of products, you have a lot of starches, for example, or proteins. Then it's also in high risk to get after a while some burnings of the surface of the machine. And therefore, we also recommend the direct steam injection, because you never will get this, because the surface temperature, if you use the jacket, is way higher than if you just get the steam into the product. And also this burning effect, this browning effect will change your product after a while. So you don't have a constant quality after all. You will get some changes in taste and also in the flavor. The second point is the principle, what we call Stefan Principle inside the machine. Maybe you heard about it. I just want to explain the special geometry of the machine is designed that you use the blades or the tools inside, first of all for mixing, for dispersing, emulsification and all of this, but also you push the product down to the bottom of the machine. By the special design of the machine, you push the product down, you will create an internal circulation. The product went down to the bottom, and then it goes up on the wall, because we don't have just a flat bottom. We have round angles on the bottom. The product will go up to the higher part of the machine. By the wall scraper and lid scraper, you will bring the product directly back into the middle of the circulation from the tools. And then we have this complete internal turbulation to get a way more homogeneous and way more efficient mixing effect. For the different products, we also have different tools available, which can be from very sharp tools like the wave cut blades or straight blades, down to the just mixing elements like blunt knives, for example. The main difference is because you need for different products, you need different tools. If you have a modified starch, like it's shear resistant, then you can work with the high shear force plates, with the wave cut knives, or with the straight knives. There's no risk that you destroy some structure of the product or some parts, some ingredients of the product. But if you have just native starches like cornstarch or something like this, then it's very sensible product. You need a very smooth shear against these particles, against this product. And therefore, we recommend the blunt knives. So you have a wide range of tools, and you can handle a wide range of products. The next big point for us is the complete vacuum process. Why we have to work with vacuum? First of all, of course, you want to have a homogeneous surface of your product. If you make a block cheese and you slice it, you want to have a very homogeneous structure. You don't want to see any air bubbles or something like this in the product. This is the biggest advantage. Of course, also by the vacuum, you will reduce the oxygen level inside the machine, which will also cause the oxidation afterwards. And therefore, we reduce the oxygen level and we extend by this the shelf life of your product a little bit. It's not that effective shelf life extension like if you pasteurize or sterilize it, but it's also a point which gives you an advantage compared to if you don't use the vacuum. So from our side, these are the 3 big points which you need and which you have to be focused on when you produce this kind of products. The next big question mark, if you have to decide what kind of machine you need, I will answer now, but first of all, you have to decide for yourself what kind of products you want to make. In the beginning, you have seen you can go from spreadable products like a vegan cream cheese. You can go to a block cheese. You can go to some Feta style cheese. You have a wide range of products, but there's no one single machine which can handle all of these products. Of course, here on this picture, you can see our universal machine. Like the name said, the universal machine is quite flexible for a wide range of the products. Not for all, of course, but for the most of them, for sure. And here on the picture, on the left-hand side of the picture, you can also see one of our newest development, the small UMX5. This is our newest development, and you are one of the first people they can see it because the launch of this machine is just next week. So it's a point for you. Why we have designed this new? If you see this machine compared to the right-hand machine, the UM24, you can see it looks quite similar. The biggest advantage for that is you can use this small machine in your R&D centers, in your test labs. You just need to make very small batches. You can develop your process, you can develop your recipes, and later on you can upscale the complete process, even up to the biggest machines we have. The process will be completely the same at the end. Okay, go to the different machine types. Here you can see 5 different types of machines which you can use for the production of the vegan cheese. All of these are just batch-wise machines. That means you add all the ingredients, you finalize your product, you have to discharge it. If you want to produce continuously, that's also a possibility, but today we just talk about these batch lines. Let's start from the left side, the universal machine. The universal machine is also a tiltable batch machine, which is available up to 170 liter batch size, which gives you around about 1 ton per hour of final product. Depends on the batch time. If you need a swelling time or if you need any additional step time for any kind of steps, I don't know, then it can be also less or even more if it's going very well. The next one is our Compiterm. The Compiterm is it's a hybrid machine between a vacuotherm and universal machine. It has a big capacity up to 1200 liter per batch, and it has the advantages of the universal machine, which means you have the high-speed plates on the bottom of the machine. And the rest of the function, except the tilting, is also quite similar, but you will see it later on a special page. The next in the middle is the Combi Cut. The Combi Cut is special designed for, we call it heavy duty products, like very, very thick dough, very high viscous products, like if you have any kind of big block cheeses, very viscous block cheeses. To get an idea what I mean with heavy duty, the machine is also the best solution for marzipan production. If you have in mind how viscous marzipan is, then you will understand what I mean with heavy duty. This machine is the best for that. The next is the Vacuotherm. The Vacuotherm is it's also a big machine up to 1200 liter per batch, but you do not have the high-speed tool inside the machine. You cannot cut any material. That's why all the materials which you have to add has to be pre-cutted or pre-grinded. Of course, you can use the machine for mixing, dispersing, and blending, but therefore you need the bypass pipe with a micro-cut system in line. You can see it right beside the machine. It's it's mounted on the frame. It's a micro-cut. Micro-cut is kind of rotor starter system where you have a high-speed ring, or we have two rings. One is fixed inside, the other ring is mounted on the motor shaft. And we can also disperse or mix or create an emulsion inside. But it's only in the bypass pipe. It's not inside the cooker themselves. But also this gives you a lot of advantages. I will explain a bit later just to understand it. And last but not least, on the right-hand side is our Cookit. Cookit is it's not just a simple cooking machine. It gives you also a nice opportunity because you can also use it for high viscous products because the machine is tiltable. If you compare this to the Vacuotherm and Compiterm, these products has to be liquid enough to pump it out. On the Cookit, you can just tilt the machine into a trolley, into a buffer tank, or into a hopper just to feed it to further stations. Later on, at the end of the of our part of the lesson, you will see also a video from the Cookit. It gives you a much better view how the machine works and what is the biggest advantage. You will see it later. So here we see the universal machine and also the Combi Cut. The Combi Cut, the heavy duty machine. Both of them are able to handle big blocks of product because you have the high-speed tools inside the blades. You can pre-cut these blocks, you can final cut, you can create a dispersion, you can emulsify the product, and you also can just disperse it. For both machines, we have these different tools available, which I've explained in the beginning, for different kind of products, of high viscose, low viscose, or shear sensible products, or shear resistant products. Both machines are also able to deaerate the products with their vacuum system. And of course, both machines can heat up with direct steam, as well as jacket heating and also jacket cooling. Because some products cannot handle some additional water. I forgot this to explain during the steam injection. Of course, if you use the direct steam, you will get some additional water into the product. Usually we use this as a part of the recipe water, of course, but if you don't have any free water in the recipe, it's quite difficult to use the direct steam. Then we have to find a way to heat up with the jacket heating, but it's not that often. Usually you have enough free water. We get around 10% from the steam heating. 10% of the water will be recipe water. Yeah, jacket cooling, it's also a possibility. You can use water, ice water, chilled water, as well as glycol if you have a glycol circulation system. So here again, we have the combitherm together with the vacutherm system. As I said before, the combitherm has the high-speed blade on the bottom of the machine. It's also a round bottom. It's not that flat like the cookit or vacutherm. It's quite similar inside like the universal machine, just a bigger version of the universal machine. And this gives you the advantage to handle also big blocks of material, like a 25 kg butter block, for example, or any kind of fat, plant-based fat or something. This is possible. Compared to this, the vacutherm, of course, you can also add the fat blocks inside here, but you need to melt it inside. In the combitherm, you directly can start dispersing, start mixing and cutting. In the combitherm, you need to add the fat pre-melted, or you have to wait inside until the fat is already melted. As soon as it's liquid enough, but yeah, then you can start the circulation in the microcut, through the microcut. Then you can also create your dispersion, your mix inside the vacutherm. It sounds like a disadvantage, but the vacutherm has a lot of advantages. Just a simple example. You want to make a block cheese with some particles inside, some, I don't know, paprika or even fruits or whatever you want. If you put all in the combitherm and you start mixing, of course you will also get some pieces at the end, but you have some small one, you have some big one. It's not that homogeneous. It's not eagle everywhere. But in the vacutherm, you have the big advantage. You can adjust with the tools inside the microcut. You can adjust your requested particle size at the end. That means you will produce your processed or your vegan cheese, and at the end you add on top, inside the vacutherm, you add these additional particles like the paprika, fruits, whatever, and then you just steer it to mix it under the product, and then you discharge it via the microcut to the next part of the line. And then you have a guarantee that you have an absolute equalized particle size everywhere, very homogeneous product, the same particle size. It's quite a big advantage compared to the other machines. That's why I said in the beginning, it's quite important to know before what kind of products you want to make. It gives you a lot of advantages if you get this or this machine. And finally, in this section, we talk about the cookit. Of course, if you just look inside, it is a simple cooker, but the advantage compared to the other machines is that you can you create your blend. You can handle a lot of powders, a lot of liquids. You create a homogeneous mix, and then you can tilt the machine, even if it's high viscose. You will see it later on the video. We will create an analog mozzarella, and by the tools inside the cookit, you will get a quite good stretch inside the machine. You get a long structure of the product. This is a quite big advantage compared to all the other machines, because in the other machines, you have always a high-speed tool, or you have to discharge via a discharge pump. All of this will destroy your structure. But I'm pretty sure if you see the video, you will understand what I mean by that. Okay, then we will go to the best practice, and I will hand over to Dirk again.
Thank you, Jens, for the explanation of our machinery. Now I want to show you some examples, process insights of the actually production process on a few of our machines. First of all, we have this small sheet prepared where we can see actually the production of a vegan cheddar cheese. On the left top side of the pictures, you can see the actually universal machine 24. We produced a 12.5 kilogram batch. First step, of course, is storing the water. This can be done by measuring it out with a flow meter directly to the bowl. The amount of water is according to the condensate amount already reduced. You also can see the knives or the tools which are on the center of the bowl. Here we have, for instance, blunt knives or mixing tool, as we call it, to just homogenize the product and not destroying any structure of the functional ingredients. And the second step, we're adding all the powdered blends to the water, hydrocolloids, colors, everything is inside the bowl now. And we just homogenize it in the third picture on the right-hand side. After this, we can adding the fat blocks in this case, which can of course can the machine handle. So you can see actually the quite big blocks of coconut fat, and it can just be homogenized. During the whole process, we have the vacuum setting to low set points to avoid any air bubbles. Now we added the fat. We start up with a heating process to approximately 70 degrees by the direct steam injection. In the center down picture, you can see it actually. The powder on top of the liquid phase is actually the lactic acid, which adjusts the pH according to the requirements. In the left picture, we finally see the finished product. It's heated up to 85 degrees, holding this temperature for approximately 5 minutes. And we have this quite homogeneous, nice looking product in the vessel, which can then be filled and results in this kind of product, for instance. As you can see, we have a very smooth surface area. Also, the center of the cheese is very, very even. We have no air bubbles in the cheese. You already can see the kind of brittle structure, which we all know from cheddar cheese. It's absolutely nice to grate. And on the right-hand side, you can see the meltability of this product. But this process was just one example of different possibilities. Of course, we can change the process according to the recipe requirements. As shown in the next footage we want to show you, this is actually a production movie of a similar product on the Universal Machine 24, where we produced a sliceable cheese. Yeah, now we have seen the universal machine in action, how fast and efficient this kind of product can be produced on this machine. As Jens already mentioned, now we want to show you a small production video of the production of analog mozzarella. So not actually a vegan product, but we just want to highlight here the functionality and the mixing behavior and all this kind of stuff which is related to our machines on the next kind of video. And then you get a more detailed overview of our cookit. Now you get a small insight into the processing of different kinds of cheese, especially the vegan ones. Last but not least, there's more footage. We spoke a bit about the possibility to produce cashew-based cheeses. These kind of products needs a fine nut paste as a base ingredient. And this can be produced on the Freimakaruma mills, involving also a thermotherm, which is a scraped surface heat exchanger. And in the last footage for the part of the process group for today, I like to show you the processing of this kind of product on our machinery.
Okay, thank you very much, Dirk. Dear guests, that was the first part of the session today. We gave you an impression about the opportunities we have, about the possibilities and the different kind of machines you can handle to use the vegan products. Now we will hand over to our friends from company Cartech, and they are waiting, and they will give you a way deeper view into the cheese applications, the vegan products. Thank you so much, and hear you soon.
Thanks, Jens. Welcome everybody to the KTech part. First, I have to say thank you to the Proxys team for having the opportunity to present KTech in this webinar. My name is Markus Assmann, and I'm within sales at KTech, responsible for the non-EU markets, except UK, I have to mention now after the Brexit. Before we start, I'd like to introduce you to the team that is helping on this part of the webinar today. First of all, it's Mr. Alexander Mese, head of R&D. He will manage the PC cameras and so on. Mr. Arjen van der Wielen.
Hello, everybody.
Our dairy technologist and expert for plant-based cheese alternatives. And he will do the product presentation later on. And Ms. Telse Weber, development assistant, is preparing the products for us. You will see in the second part of this presentation.
Hello.
Let's start with the company introduction, which needs about 15-20 minutes, showing two small videos and a few PowerPoint slides, followed by the product presentation using the rest of the time. For those who have not the best internet connection, you can see separately later on maybe the videos through our webpage. Cartech, Katharina Hahn and partner is supplying your textural food ingredient solution. We are selling tailor-made stabilizer systems for the food industry. That is our business model. How we are doing this will be explained in the following image video.
I'm Katharina Hahn, main shareholder of Cartech and member of the supervisory board.
I'm Patrick Schwartz, shareholder and CEO of Cartech Katharina Hahn und Partner GmbH.
Cartech is a food technology company in the food industry.
Cartech offers its customers innovation and service in the food segment. Our main feature consists of making customer service the priority.
Catech is an international company with a footprint that has developed to a position where we now have a presence within 3 continents. My name is Steve Williams. I'm the Purchasing Director for the Catech Group and also the Managing Director for Catech UK. Catech is innovative due to its people and their approach within the application area. It's freedom that the people get to go ahead and do the task that they're working on, and also the technical competence of the people.
The company was in the fortunate situation from the start of being able to incorporate all sustainable and ecological principles into its planning. We are being audited by external independent bodies. One example here being ISO 14001, so-called environmental certification.
Within the pilot plant, we are able to reproduce the customer's conditions, which enables them to go back to their business with a level of confidence that what we've shown them can be reproduced within the factory.
I am Selika, the technical director from the company Catech, and I've been in the business of stabilizer system solution for the last 18 years. When a customer contacts us, it's very important at the start for us to clearly understand the demand from the customer So we always spend the time to understand the process parameter, the benchmark, the textual behaviors they are looking for, the shelf life they are trying to obtain. We are trying as well to cover the cost structures they want to achieve, the labeling expectation, but as well whether the product need to be halal or kosher, or whether the palm oil need to be sustainable or not. So all these first phase is very important to deliver a fast, successful result to our customer.
When we find a new raw material, we have a technical evaluation, then we move on to a quality documentation approval process, and after this we check the environmental and sustainability aspects. This is the process then for full approval.
My personal focus is on fairly traded raw materials, clean label, environmental sustainability, and organic products.
Wenn wir also Rohstoffe aus einem Land beziehen,
When we acquire raw materials from abroad, it is important to me that they are not contaminated and that the people who harvest them are paid fairly.
Each employee is endowed with a healthy degree of autonomy and responsibility so that they can also reach decisions aimed at advancing the company together.
der partnerschaftliche Umgang
We cultivate the same spirit of partnership with our customers as we do among ourselves.
ist die absolute Nummer
The
1.
customer is absolutely number one, our top priority, and we really do everything to accommodate them, be fair with them, and satisfy their wishes.
Let me summarize some key points in a few slides. KTech is an international food technology company delivering customized texturizing ingredient solutions, and it's founded 2010. 2012, Katharina Hahn acquires majority of company shares. Katharina Hahn was the former owner of GC Hahn with a history over 5 generations. It is more than 20 million euro invested in 2 technology centers, one in Lübeck and one more in UK, close to Chester, and in a complete new production facility in Rheinfeld, close to Lübeck. The headquarters is located in Lübeck, north of Germany, 1 hour drive from Hamburg Airport, easy to reach us. We have 2 subsidiaries, one in Chester, UK, and one in Poland. And altogether, we are more than 100 employees today and producing more than 7,000 tons of stabilizer systems, delivering into 34 countries. How we are doing it? Clear through product development. At the beginning, we are mostly starting with a detailed project briefing where the target is described, available technology, time and price frames, and so on and so on. The development department starts immediately the project with trials from 1 kg up to 25 kg in our pilot plan, where we have a really quick, at the end, prototypes with a recipe and technology recommendation. This is a best base, I think, to discuss along about further steps or scale up to your production line. In the recipe, you will find our blend of texturizing ingredients, which we hope you will buy at the end, of course. Everything we are doing here is based on trust. During the product development together with our customers, we may get aware of customer ingredients or unique production solutions, cost structure, and things like that. Therefore, it's really important for us to point out that we are never, and I mean really never, talking with a third party about our customers and projects. Everything is strictly confidential. If this is needed, maybe in a project together with Proxys, then we need your approval before. Why blends? We are sourcing totally independent from the market. When, for example, a starch supplier A is not able to provide a solution for your request, we will not recommend starch supplier B, who has maybe a solution for you. By using more than 1,000 raw materials in our developments, by using the synergistic effects and interactions between each other, we are able to offer the best possible solution for your request. We are experts in using synergistic effects and know often much more than the producer of the raw materials themselves. One-hand solution saves at the end time and money, and highest quality is always guaranteed. Where are our strengths? We are highly experienced in all kinds of dairy applications, plant-based products, the topic of today, but also fish alternatives and meat alternatives, and of course milk alternatives. Convenience food, from ready meals up to mayonnaises, ketchups, and so on. Bakery and food applications as well. Our production facility in Rheinfeld has an annual production capacity of 12,000 tons on 4 lines. It is extensively certificated, like described in the sheet. We have a straight allergen management, which we can guarantee, but a minimum order of 400 kg is here needed. We are able to fill up 25 kg 3-layer paper sacks with PE inliner and several different sizes of big bags as well. Now I'd like to show you where the KTech heart is beating. The video tour through the German pilot plant. The English pilot plant is similar equipped, and within, this is not shown right now, but within the next weeks, we will add a complete meat processing machinery to do further developments on plant-based meat and fish alternatives. So, thank you very much for your attention. Before Arjen is now starting with the product presentation, I want to mention, if you want to be updated on latest news from KTech, please follow us on LinkedIn. The samples you will see right now, you can't taste, it's a pity, but if interested, please contact us. We will send them out for your own evaluation. Thank you very much. Now, Arjen, it's your turn.
Thanks a lot, Markus, for introducing our company. I would like to say also again, hello everybody. Great to have you here and that you're interested to see our products. For those of you who have not seen the beginning of our presentation, I would like to introduce myself quickly. My name is Arjen van der Wiel. I'm dairy technologist at company KTech, mainly responsible for the development of dairy products and also, of course, dairy alternative products. So And I'm really happy that I have the possibility to show you a nice selection of our latest plant-based cheese alternatives. Before we start with the presentation, I have to say these are just basic recipes you will see, just to give you an idea what is possible in this area of products, and there's much possible, I can say. Of course, the recipe and technology can be adjusted regarding your expectations in terms of texture, flavor, and color, of course. So here we start with our presentation. Next slide, please. Our first product is our plant-based cheese slices or cheese block, which is a really great alternative for the use on all sorts of sandwiches and breads. It's mainly intended for the use of in cold application, so not for heating. In our next slide, you will see, or you see our recipe. This is how it usually looks like. We have our ingredients lists in the recipe. Here you can see also our ingredients, which is our mixture of stabilizer on top of this ingredients list, written in bold, as you can see. For this product, it's named Kartek cheese slices and dosed with 26%. We have in this mixture basically a mixture of modified starches, which are specially selected for this type of texture and for this application, of course. Then we have 22% of fat in this recipe, coconut fat in this case, some salt for taste, some vegan flavor. In this product now we have, for example, a type cheddar flavor, some coloring, of course. So basically what you've seen already in the Proxys presentation. So the ingredients are quite comparable in total. So important for producing such a product is, of course, the technology. So I will go roughly through it because you have already seen it basically in the Proxys presentation. First of all, we have to melt the vegetable fat, the coconut fat, put in water, coloring, flavor, and then disperse our stabilizing system, so-called Kartek cheese slices with high shear. Then we have to disperse slowly the melted fat. Of course, check pH and adjust this to a pH below 4.5, or in this example, 4.0 to 4.4. Then we can start with the heating process, direct steam injection till 85 degrees. Hold hot the product, and then we can also fill hot and fill it into cups, for example. Cool down the product, and important for this type of product is to build up the texture for the next steps in process, like slicing. It's really important to cool it at least for a minimum of 48 hours below 8 degrees. And after slicing, you can package it and then it's ready. For all products we show today here, we have used the universal machine UMSK24 from Stefan Machinery. Yeah, this is a really good machine, I can say, for these types of products, as you have seen also in the previous presentation. So, and now we will show you in real life, I would say, the product I've talked about, and I will tell you some things, some benefits of it. So, of course, it's plant-based. It is really important, sliceable, and more important, not sticky. So slices will not stick together in packaging. We have flexible slices. I would compare it to a young cheese, like a young Gouda maybe. But this is adjustable, like you want to have it, of course. If you want a more brittle cheddar, it's also adjustable in this direction. We have a soft texture. And this product, like young cheese, is a smooth and shiny surface. Our colleague Telse shows you in the product cam. We have a pleasant bite, and of course, taste is adjustable to any type of cheese you want to have with the right flavors. And you can also mix it up with, for example, herbs, seeds and vegetables. We have made some products here, for example, with some herbs. We have made a Gouda type more yellow in color, a Cheddar type more orange in color, and also, for example, some tomato basil inside, or paprika and chili. So this was the first product. Now we'll go on with the next one, really highlight, I would call it, our plant-based pizza cheese, which is a really great alternative for pizza lovers who do not want to compromise on one of the most desired fast food eating experiences. Like it's said here on the slide, it's a, as you know, pizza cheese is a really big market and really interesting because a lot of people eat pizza and have some expectations regarding the stretch and melting, of course. So here we have again the recipe. On top again, the stabilizing systems from our side. In this product, we have 2 stabilizing systems. Basically, it's a mixture of starches and modified starches and carrageenan to get the right, product. We have used again coconut fat, 25%. But let me say, the fat is really free in choice. You can also use, for example, rapeseed oil or palm oil or whatever you want to use. At least this is adjustable. So 25% of fat, then some color and some flavor, of course, to get the right product you want to have. Next slide, we see the technology. So first of all, we put in the water, then the first stabilizer is Kartek cheese 2, salt and flavor, disperse this with high shear, emulsify our melted coconut fat, disperse the next stabilizing system from our side, Kartek pizza cheese 1, adjust pH, heat up directly, and fill hot. After filling hot, you have to cool down also, of course. It's not written here, but I would also recommend for better shredding to store it in cold conditions, at minimum for 48 hours. So, and the machine is always the same. And now we will see again the product, which is a really highlight. So it's plant-based, of course. We have really good shredding properties. And we have a long shelf life because of the hot filling in combination with the low pH. And let me say it's a really great alternative for cheese applications like pizza and paninis, where you need this melt, this great melt, and this really good stretch you want to have in such kind of a product. And also really important is that it's giving the product after heating or after baking a typical shiny surface, not too dry. Yeah, and that are the benefits of this product. Okay, so next product in this presentation is the plant-based feta cheese or white cheese. And it's a nice feta cheese alternative for salads and other dishes, mainly for cold application. But you could also eat it, for example, cold with some noodles or something else. Here we have the recipe. On top, our stabilizing system, which is a mixture of modified starch, fibers, agar, and some starch, some native starch. As fat, we have again coconut fat, 22%, some salt, some flavor, and below citric acid solution for adjustment of pH. Technology looks like this. We put in first water, heat it up to 50 degrees, disperse the stabilizing system, Kartek white cheese, and all remaining dry ingredients and flavor, but not the fat. The fat will follow in the next step, the emulsification process with the melted coconut fat with high shear. We have to check and adjust the pH. Heat in this product now indirect, but you could also heat it up directly, of course, to 90 degrees. Hold hot for 5 minutes, and after this, we have to fill hot. And now we will show you again the product. So it's a very creamy product, rich in mouthfeel, and we have, I would say, a Feta typical crumbly texture, which is really nice and close to the original one. The flavor is in a combination which delivers a Feta typical taste. We have used this flavors, creamy and also milky notes are inside. So it offers, of course, also different options for herb flavors. You could put it, for example, into oil with herbs, like known from the market, from the original one, but you could also put it just in brine. So, next product is our plant-based cream cheese. It's fresh in taste, has a creamy texture like the original one. We have a spreadable plant-based cream cheese, which you can perfectly use for bread, crackers, and other snacks. Next slide, you can see the recipe. On top, we have the stabilizing system, again, Carter cream cheese. We name it here. It's a mixture of modified starches, some plant protein, because we have 1.8% of protein inside this product, starch, and carrageenan in this stabilizing system for this product. Fat content is 32%, again, with coconut fat. Then we have some lemon juice for taste and also for adjustment of the pH, of course. But you could also use citric acid or any other acidifier. Next slide. As you can see, process is often quite similar or quite close to each other. We have to put in water, warm water, disperse Cartec cream cheese, so the stabilizer, emulsify the melted fat with high shear, heat it up directly. And in this product, we now adjust pH at the highest temperature to 4.0 to 4.4, and also addition of sodium chloride. Then we hold hot for 2 minutes, and after this, we will start with filling in hot conditions above 80 degrees. Now we can see again the product in live. As said before, it has a creamy texture like the original cream cheese. We are clean and fresh in taste, has a nice white color, and it's nicely balanced in flavor profile, which mimics really close the original dairy-based cream cheese. You can also mix it with herbs, or in this case, we have a mixture of tomato basil inside. And what I think is really nice to know that we have also protein inside, not just fat and water. We also have protein. So here we have, and we see also a lot of possibilities to get better nutritional values. Also, if you think about the Nutri-Score, for example. Next product is our plant-based processed cheese spread. So this is one of our latest developments. It has a great shiny and smooth spread, which is typical for such kind of a product. It is really nice for snacking and just for enjoying this product. The recipe looks like the following. We have on top our Cartec processed cheese spread stabilizing system, which is basically a mixture of modified starches, CMC, some emulsifying salts, and carrageenan. What is different to the other recipes is that we used here a fermented base. The base is based on soy. which will be produced before this process or this recipe will follow up with a regular heating process on tubes or plate. And after this, cooling down to fermentation temperature, add vegan cultures, do the fermentation, and then stir it up after reaching the right pH, and then you can use it further for this recipe like written here. Reason for this is just for taste, because it gives the product a nice fresh but not sour taste and a really creamy texture, of course, also. So fat content we have at least in the final product 25%, and a protein content of 3% in this product. I've used here vegetable fat, in my case no palm fat, but you could also use any other type of fat you want to use at least. Also again, typical the flavor addition and some color. So next slide please. Process looks like following. We have to disperse all dry ingredients, including the Kartek processed cheese spread stabilizer, flavor and color in water and fermented base. So you could say nearly all-in technology, but without the fat. The fat will follow in the next step. Then we have to check and adjust the pH. And we have to heat it up directly, hold hot the product. Then we can start filling also in hot conditions. And then we can store it chilled. So now we see the final product. We have made, as said before, it's a smooth and shiny in surface. We have a creamy texture, and it's a really nice spreadable product with not a too long texture. And you can adjust any type of cheese, at least, which you want to have. So just for example, we made the more orange one is, you cannot taste it unfortunately, but the more orange one is a cheddar version, and the yellow one is a Gouda type, I would call it. So last but not least, our latest development. Here I don't have a recipe or technology until now, but of course we were prepared. Our plant-based barbecue cheese. Here in Europe, really good, because the season for barbecue will start in a few months. This product has 15% of fat. We have 1.5% of protein. The fat is again coconut, and the stabilizing system we used here is a mixture of modified starch, xanthan, and plant protein for the protein enrichment in this product. You can use it, you can already see it, I can see. So you can use it like the name for a barbecue grill. You can use it also in an oven, like an oven cheese, or you use it just in the kitchen in the pan. You can heat it also in a pan. We have in this product a really creamy mouthfeel. I would also describe maybe to heated up Gouda cheese, a young Gouda cheese. We have a nice browning on the surface, as you can see, a firm bite, and what is important also for the barbecue, that it's not melting, so at least you will get something from your product without losing anything. And this was the product presentation from my side. Just to let you know, these are just basic recipes, I said in the beginning also, which can be adjusted in any way you want to have it, also regarding taste, color, and also regarding texture or functionality. So I really hope you enjoyed also this part of the presentation, of this live product presentation, and that it was really appetizing for you. Unfortunately, you cannot taste, but you can get samples if you want.
Thank you very much for your time sharing with us, and stay healthy.
Okay, perfect. Thank you very much, Marcos and your crew. So, just a second. Yeah, I also want to thank you all for joining us today. It was a great pleasure to meet all of you. As you have seen in the chat, if you share your email address with us, we can also send you the presentations afterwards. That's not a big deal for us. And also, if you have any more questions about some additional products, I've seen some of you asked for the vegan camembert. We also want to prepare something and send you later on. This is it's a great pleasure for us. If you have any question, you can see on the screen my email address and also Dirk's email address. The colleagues from Kartech also shared their contact data. Feel free to send us a request or questions whenever you want, and we try to answer as soon as possible. Thanks again for visiting us. I really appreciate that you joined us today, and I hope that you stay healthy in the future. I hope that we get all our vaccination quite soon, that we can travel anymore. Maybe we will see us in the future directly on your place, or maybe if you try to want to try to our use our test center, then you're also always welcome to join us, and we can produce your product, or we can make some trials to figure out what you want or what you can get. Thanks again, and yeah, as Marco said, stay healthy. Thanks.